What are the best custom and lookalike audiences you can target on Facebook, and how do you use them in your campaigns to maximize your return on ad spend? Today, I'm going to let you in on the holy grail of the best custom audiences you should be using right now in your Facebook ads to market like the pros and take your campaigns to the next level. These are audiences I don't see anyone else talking about, yet I literally use all of these in my clients' campaigns, and we see incredible success, especially when segmented the right way within our ad funnel. Also, at the very end, I'll be revealing the best audience you should be using to increase your average order value, which will in turn boost your return on ad spend drastically. So before we get started, I'd appreciate an early thumbs up because I know you'll get a ton of value out of this one. And if you're new, please consider subscribing because I'm always releasing new videos with the latest tips and strategies to help e-commerce brands like you navigate the social media marketing landscape. So let's not waste any more time and dive right in. All right, so the format of this video will start at the bottom of your funnel and we'll work our way up. We will start really narrow with the hottest audiences where we spend the least amount of money but get the highest return on ad spend. And then we'll end with the top where your targeting is more broad, where you'll spend the most time and get the most sales and conversions. So starting with the bottom of the funnel, here you have the least number of people, but they're also most likely to buy your product or service. You'll be using exclusively custom audiences here for remarketing. This includes anyone, and I mean literally anyone, who has interacted with your brand in some shape, way, or form. You want to make absolutely certain that you capture every prospect and potential customer possible so you can convert them. So before I get to the first custom audience, I should preface this by saying that not all custom audiences are created equal. What do I mean by that? Well, each of your custom audiences has a different level of value to your business. So you need to think of it in terms of how high is their intent to purchase, or have they purchased before? And let that guide your segmentation. For example, someone who is added to cart on your website versus someone who liked your ad on Instagram are two completely different people in terms of their level of intent to buy. So you should treat them differently. It's super important that you make this distinction because how you use these audiences within your funnel is ultimately going to dictate how successful you will be with your Facebook ads. So let's get to the good stuff.
Oh, yes! Oh.
First off, we have your website traffic, all Facebook and Instagram engagers, and everyone who has clicked on a call to action button. I like to call this group medium intent prospects. They may have seen your ads once or twice and they're curious about your product or service, but we're not convinced that it's for them. But don't let this deter you because you can still convert them with some retargeting. So definitely take advantage of that. To create your custom audience, you can do this in one of two ways. Either within Ads Manager where you're setting up your ad set, or in the audiences page. The workflow is the same. I'm going to demonstrate how to create it directly within an ad set. So you'll scroll down to the audiences, create new, select custom audience, website, because we're interested in website traffic, and do all website visitors in the last 180 days. I'm doing 180 because that's the maximum time frame that Facebook allows you to set it to, and you want to do this so you get as many people as possible in your audience. I'll name it traffic 180 days, and boom, we have our custom audience. For your Instagram engagers, again, I'll do create new, custom audience, Instagram, and select the first option, which is everyone who's engaged with your account. Don't worry about these other options for now. I'll get to them later in the video. I'm going to leave the time frame as 365 days. And again, this is because I want to include as many people as possible in this audience. I'll call it Engaged with Instagram 365. Now you might be thinking, shouldn't you do the last 30 days or 60 days because those are warmer leads? Theoretically, that's correct, but here's the thing. Even though you set the time frame to 180 or 365 days, Facebook is smart and knows who interacted with your page most recently. Therefore, they are going to prioritize serving your ads to people who are most likely to convert, which are people who visited your page yesterday, 2 days ago, or last week. So unless I have a time-sensitive offer like a 7-day sale that I specifically want to retarget people for, I will always go with the maximum time frame that Facebook allows me, and you should too. So with your Facebook engagers, it's pretty much the same workflow, except this time I'll choose Facebook page, everyone who engaged with my page, 365 days, and call it engaged with Facebook 365. Boom. Now you have your 2 custom audiences. Now, I also mentioned a custom audience for everyone who clicked on a call to action button. And for some reason, this can only be done for your Facebook page. So select that and choose that option. Pretty straightforward. Also, before we get to our next group of custom audiences, I want to invite you to book a free strategy and discovery call with me. If you're an e-commerce brand and you've been running ads for a while and are looking to scale, or you're doing at least $20,000 in monthly sales, either organically, paid, or both, or you just want to take your Facebook ads to the next level, my agency has a track record of getting incredible results for clients just like you. On our call, we'll review your ad account, I'll audit your account and give you my personal recommendations on how you can optimize your campaigns and give you tips on how you can improve your overall digital marketing funnel to drive more sales. In the last year alone, we've scaled a boutique cosmetics brand to over $1 million in sales annually on an average return of 13. We also created so many orders for an online bakery that they had to hire more people to fulfill those orders. Sales went up 200% with a consistent 23 ROAS. We're looking to take on a select few online stores to work with and help you scale to your next sales target. Some of our e-commerce clients recently hit new milestones from $50K a month to their first ever 6-figure month and $300K a month to their first ever 7-figure month. So if this is something you'd be interested in, click the link in the description box below to book a call with me because we would love to work with you. Now, our next group in particular is one of my absolute favorites and what I like to call high intent prospects. Everyone who saved a post, everyone who visited your website more than once, and all top 25%, 10%, and 5% website visitors by time spent. I'll explain how you should think about the value associated with each of these audiences and then show you how to create these audiences. First, anyone who saved a post. I see a ton of success with this particular segment, so I want you to think about what's going on through someone's mind when they're saving a post, right? I save a post because not only am I interested in a product, but I like it so much that I want to bookmark it in my archives for later so I can revisit it when I'm not so distracted or busy. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, this custom audience shows massive opportunities for remarketing. You never know what other things were competing for someone's attention at the time that they saw your ad or post. So it's highly likely that someone was scrolling through their feed just to pass the time, saw your product, absolutely loved it, but didn't have time to buy right then and there. Or they just wanted to do some more research before buying. Either way, you want to hit them with some retargeting ads, get that conversion. This is a super hot audience. So here's how to create this custom audience. Go to Instagram and select people who saved any post or ad. I'll name it Saved IG Post 365. Then do the same thing for Facebook. Select Facebook, and again, do people who saved your page or any post. I'll call it Saved Facebook Post 365. So you would have 2 custom audiences, one for Facebook and one for Instagram. Next, visitors by frequency of visits. Look, if you're running ads and you have people returning to your website 2, 3, or even 10 times, chances are they are eventually going to convert. It's just inevitable.
I am inevitable.
They keep coming back, which means something about your products or services caught their eye and they are without a doubt going to buy. For me personally, I will check a website 2, 3, sometimes even more than 5 times because I really like something, but I'm undecided that it's for me. So I'll check back to see if they have a sale or discounts for new customers. Most of the time, brands will have some kind of offer for first-time customers. And then all of a sudden, I'll be hit with an ad on Instagram showing other customers using the product and I'm sold. So it just goes without saying that this is a really great time to share user-generated content with testimonials, something like an unboxing that shows how much fans love your products, even if it's scripted. Introduce a welcome offer, say 10% off for new customers. These are phenomenal for increasing customer acquisition, and I see awesome results whenever brands leverage UGC or some kind of welcome offer. It definitely works on me. To create this custom audience, you go to website and notice that I have a few different events here. These are tracked by the pixels. So I'll just select page view and refine by, aggregate value, frequency, choose is greater than or equal to. And here, this is where you set the frequency. So I'll just put 2. I'll name it 2 plus page views 180. So what I've just done is created a custom audience of basically anyone who's visited my website at least 2 times. All right, next we have visitors by time spent. This is another one of my favorites as it generates some insane returns for our clients. Out of everyone who lands on your site, you are going to have some who spend more time than others perusing through your site, and this is something that you should absolutely capitalize on. This is insanely powerful because the people who spend the most time on your website will buy in higher volume, spend more money, and generate more sales than someone who lands on your page and bounces in under 4 seconds. So you'll go to website, select visitors by time spent, and you're literally able to target the top 25, 10, and 5% of customers who have spent the most time on your site. So obviously, the smaller the percentages, the smaller your audience will be, but the top 5% of customers will also be more profitable and thus higher value to your business than the top 25% of customers. As usual, I'll put 180 days, and you can even add a parameter that refines your audience based on the specific pages people have visited if you want to go that granular. I'll call it top 25% visitors by time spent, and boom, you have your custom audience. Now, you're probably already familiar with this next group of custom audiences, and chances are you're already using them in a lot of your campaigns. I'm talking about the common standard events tracked by the Facebook pixel that everyone knows about. These are your value-based events like your add to carts, initiate checkouts, add payments, and purchases. It goes without saying that you want to create custom audiences based on anyone who performed a high-value conversion event on your website. The most common way to structure these audiences is in your abandoned cart segment, which I'll get to in a second. If you're not already targeting abandoned carts, then you absolutely should, because this segment produces the highest returns out of all your audiences, with the exception of your existing customers. So again, you'll go to website, and these should appear as standard events for you to select if you have the pixel installed. Depending on your website and how your pixel is set up, you may see fewer or more events listed here. So you can go ahead and literally create a custom audience for each one of these events. Now, I'm more particular about the time frame here because it often depends on the length of your sales cycle. For example, if you have a product that customers purchase on a monthly basis, like coffee, then you should set the time frame to something like 30 days. And then be sure to exclude those recent purchasers from the last 30 days. As far as how to set up your abandoned cart audience, you would just include your add to cart, checkout, add payments within your ad set. Then don't forget to exclude the purchase audience from the last 30 days. That's all there is to it. Finally, the last custom audience is your past purchasers. This is by far going to be your most valuable audience, and let me tell you why. Assuming that people have had a good experience with your brand before, they're going to buy again. It's funny because often when people use Facebook ads, they're too focused on acquiring new customers, attracting new prospects, but then they neglect to advertise to their existing customers. Here's the thing. Existing customers know your product or service. They trust it. Therefore, not only are they going to buy again, they'll buy more and drive more sales and conversions. So they are a much higher value to your business. Remember that the cost of acquiring a new customer is a lot more than the cost of remarketing to an old one. Think of it this way. What would it mean for your business if you could increase your revenue by 3x simply by selling to your current customers? Higher revenue, lower cost, better margins. It's a no-brainer. So definitely don't ignore targeting your customer list on Facebook. I always say that if you're marketing to them elsewhere, like through email marketing, you should also advertise to them on Facebook because it just increases your exposure. What if they didn't see your email or it landed in the spam folder? You have a higher chance of reaching them if you're also marketing to them on Facebook and Instagram. There's nothing more powerful than an omni-channel strategy. So how do you create this audience? You'll go to Create Custom Audience and select Customer List. You can upload your offline customer list, maybe one that you've exported from your store, downloaded from your CRM, or it could be an email list that you've accumulated. Pro tip, the more data and attributes that you have in your file, the better Facebook can match them to users on the platform. If you have customer values in your list, even better. Your file must be in CSV or TXT format. You can also download a template by clicking here to see an example of how your customer list should look like before uploading to Facebook. So I'll hit next, choose whether my list includes values, and simply upload my file here. I'll just call it customer list Jan 1. And if you have values in your file like I do here, you'll need to map that column in your file. So I'll just do that right now. Then you'll need to map any other columns in your file to the correct identifiers. Some of the rows in your file may be blank with no data, and some columns you may not need to upload at all. So this is where you'll match the corresponding columns to the proper identifiers and clean up your file before it can be processed by Facebook. So I'll just do a few of these right now for demo purposes. From there, I can go ahead and create a lookalike audience the same way that I can also create lookalike audiences based on any of our other custom audiences, which I'm about to cover next in the video. So our next section will be the middle of the funnel. If you watched my previous video, you'll know that the middle of your funnel is where you drive the most sales and conversions. This segment is much more broad than your bottom of the funnel. Your prospects are in the consideration stage where they've been shopping around, researching a product or service, or they're ready to buy. Now, I know a lot of people might debate me on this, but I will use exclusively lookalike audiences and interest-based audiences here. Some of you may use custom audiences, but I find that the middle of the funnel is just too broad to use audiences that are so small. So let's get into the different lookalike audiences. To keep things simple, you are basically going to take all the custom audiences you've created for the bottom of the funnel targeting and create lookalike audiences off of them. I'll also share 2 new custom audiences that I haven't talked about earlier in the video that are going to be absolute game changers for your ads. As usual, the format of this will start with cold prospects and we'll get progressively warmer as we go. I'll also explain the philosophy behind how you want to use these audiences. First up, lookalikes based on anyone who engaged with your Facebook or Instagram page. This is the broadest out of everyone who's interacted with your brand. So you might see smaller returns because the prospects are less likely to buy than someone who saved your post because they loved your ad so much. But don't let this deter you because you still want to leverage this for a customer acquisition. All you have to do is go to Create New, Lookalike Audience, Switch to other sources and you'll find every single one of your custom audiences that you've created here. Find the custom audience that you're looking for, which in our case is engaged with Instagram 365. Choose the location of your audience. And an important thing to note is the difference between the location of your seed audience and your target audience. What you're looking at here is the location where most of your custom audience is from. So this is saying out of everyone who engaged with our Instagram account, we want to include people who are from the US. Within the ad set, that is where you'll choose the location of users you want to target. If I choose to add Canada here, I'm saying use my lookalike audience and target people who are in the US and Canada. So those are two different things, so be aware of that. So again, when you're creating your lookalike audience, this is not the location of people you want to target. So next, I'll just do a 2% lookalike, but you're free to choose the percentage that makes sense for your budget. A higher budget means you'll want a higher percentage, so you have more people to serve your ads to. As a reminder, your percentage just means how similar your lookalike is to your seed audience. A smaller percentage means it's most similar and vice versa. Your next group of lookalikes are based on the custom audiences of anyone who has visited your website or clicked a call to action button. There is higher intent with this group because they actually made it off the platform and onto your website. You're getting warmer to a purchase with these prospects, but still not as close as someone who initiated a checkout. These lookalikes are incredibly powerful for your prospecting campaigns if you're trying to expand your targeting. Then we have lookalikes based on people who have visited certain pages. This is one I didn't go into detail before, but if you sell multiple products, I highly encourage you to leverage this audience in cross-selling other products. Let's say you're a cosmetics brand and you sell a variety of different lip products, lip liners, lip gloss, lipsticks, etc. Remember when we created a custom audience based on frequency of page views? You can go one step further and refine your audience to include specific pages. What you can do is create a custom audience based on everyone who has viewed, added to cart, initiated a checkout, or purchased a lip kit. Then you can target a lookalike audience of those people. Because lip kits and lip glosses are similar, the customers of these products are similar, which means you can effectively use lookalike audiences so Facebook can find similar customers for you. I use this strategy often with our clients and it works amazing, especially when we're promoting a new product launch. So what I'm going to do here is go to create new, lookalike, and I'll select create new source, custom audience, and choose website. I'm going to select add to cart for our example, set this to 180, choose refined by, URL, and I'll enter the URL for our collection of all lip kits. This is something I just made up. I'll call it add to cart lip kits 180. Next, I'm allowed to create a lookalike audience, so I'll just go ahead and create a 1% lookalike. Pretty simple. Now, lookalikes based on visitors by time spent. I see huge success whenever I use these lookalike audiences, sometimes an even higher return than value-based audiences built using the pixels. So definitely try this one out as well because it can lead to amazing results. So I mentioned in the beginning that there's one audience you can use to help increase your average order value, and that is a lookalike based on people who have spent above a certain dollar amount. In my opinion, this lookalike audience is highly underrated and one that has the potential to generate some massive returns. You'll first create a custom audience for customers who have spent a certain amount of money. Since there are values associated with these audiences, you'll want to go to website and create a custom audience for each of these conversion events. We'll use purchase for our example. I'll click refine by and aggregate value. I'll choose sum of because I want the total population of customers who have spent more than a certain amount. Under parameter, I'll choose value, then greater than or equal to, and I'll just put 100. Then I'll name this purchased more than $100 30 days. And you can do this for each one of your standard events. So you'd have a custom audience for purchases above 100, add to carts above 100, initiate checkouts above 100, and so on. Doing this is not only a great way to find those higher spenders on Facebook, but could also increase your average order value, which is huge, especially if your typical order value is low. One of the things that I see so many brands struggle with is getting that ROAS high enough to not only cover their ad spend, but also overall operating costs to push past that break-even point into profitability. Many times you have a great product that actually sells like hotcakes. The conversion rate on Facebook is high, checkout rate on your website is great, and you have a decent volume of orders, but you just can't seem to hit a ROAS that's high enough to be profitable. And this happens a lot more than you think. There are a number of ways to combat this, including product bundles, cross-selling, one-click upsells, but you can also try using lookalike audiences based on amount spent. Especially if you have a lot of people in your seed audience, Facebook is excellent at helping you find those big spenders. They have tons and tons of data, so they know exactly who is spending a lot on the platform and who isn't. All right, now we're in the home stretch, which is the top of your funnel. Here, you want to do one of three things or all three. All you have to do is use higher percentage lookalike audiences. Anything beyond 3 to 5% would suffice. Go super broad with purely interest-based targeting, or no interest at all with just a demographic filter, which means narrowing down the age, gender, or location. You want to do this because the top of your funnel is the most broad by default. So your goal is to simply capture the largest possible audience. By nature, the top of the funnel is by far where you'll attract the most people. But because the market size is so big, your audiences are super cold and the least ready to buy. That doesn't mean you can't warm them up by segmenting them properly in your middle and bottom of the funnel campaigns, so they only see ads that are specifically tailored for them. I go into an extreme amount of detail about exactly how to do that in a previous video. So if you haven't checked that out already, I teach you my 3-step framework on how you can convert completely cold audiences into repeat customers using your Facebook campaign. So that's my rundown on custom and lookalike audiences and how to use them in your funnel. Wow, that was a lot to cover. And honestly, it's just scratching the surface of the kind of custom and lookalike audiences you can create. Do keep in mind that Facebook is a bit volatile right now, so always test different audiences to see what works best. I'm often surprised to find that certain audiences tend to do better than others. Don't forget that if you would like to book a discovery call with me, just click the link in the description box below. I would love to chat with you to help you get amazing results with your Facebook ads. Now, if you learned something or got value from this video, please don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. As always, please consider subscribing if you enjoy the content on this channel, because I spend a lot of time making these videos for you guys. It would really make my day. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!